G'day and welcome to another massive edition of Beyond the Nest. Thanks to our great friends over at Berkey's Bakehouse. My name's Yendy. I'm joined by the great man, as always, Mr. Hawk himself. Forget Tommy Gawthorpe, we've got the great man, Jackie Boy. Thanks for joining us, mate.
I'm going to have my head on a rope next time he sees me after that, mate.
Well,
you got to stop rubbing it in. I'm copping off enough flack behind the scenes about that nickname. I've stolen it off him apparently, but he can have it. He can have it. You got to stop calling me it. Just call me something else. Call me I don't know. You can figure something out.
We'll think of something next week. We've got a massive show for this week's edition. It's and we're going to focus a lot on the juniors as well. It's the finals is just around the corner for the juniors, but on your first ever edition of the famous Sitdown, you catch up with a star from Woodend.
Yeah, big Matt Shanahan, as my family like to call him. We call him Shaddy. So he's actually a really close family friend of mine, so I've known him. He might have even known me since before I knew him, really. So he's known me for a long time now, and had a little chat with him over the weekend down at Macedon in regards to the juniors and his involvement with the juniors. So yeah, that'll be a great little segment for the second quarter.
Oh, it's great to really pump up how the juniors are going here on Beyond the Nest. We go far and wide to promote all the elements of the club, which is what we're all about. And when you're the only football netball club that has a podcast, it's we've got so many great avenues to be really inclusive of the club that's really thriving on and off the field.
Yeah, exactly. And because we've got access to so many different social media platforms and different ways to listen to the podcast, we always encourage everyone to definitely tune in to get all the latest and greatest behind-the-scenes information regarding the Woodend Heskett Football Netball Club. So tune in.
Absolutely. Well, we reached more than triple figures last week's show, so we'll keep building on from that. Now we'll turn our attention to the action at Tony Clark Reserve, and we'll start off with netball. It wasn't the greatest day at the office for the girls, but very competitive. We'll talk about the 19 and unders. They came from 10 goals down in the first quarter to have a narrow win over the Cats. A pretty strong effort there by the girls, and a game that we expected that they would probably win. But it's nice in these situations where they have been challenged and they were able to sort of fight up when the pressure's on.
Exactly right, mate. We always egg them on every week and say how committed they are to striving towards some success at the nest. So it's great to see the girls with all guns firing. And
of course, that win did move them to top of the ladder as well, which is outstanding and a testament to the girls' efforts on the court. C grade, they had a tough day at the office, a tough loss to the Cats, but they'll sort of keep plugging away. B grade as well. They knew it was going to be tough. They were facing one of the top sides in the competition. They had a disappointing loss there, but the girls again keep working hard, and a big congratulations to some of the under 17 girls that stepped up as well. In A grade, we're sort of just going through these at the moment. A grade had a testing loss, but one of the key things that Wendy Roberts has sort of been pushing is that like if you're wearing brown and gold, you want to beat the Cats and you want to work hard, and she was really happy with the endeavour of working hard and playing that game style. And mate, that's all the coaches can be looking for. They can be looking for that level of improvement.
Exactly right, mate. Yeah, as we say every week, it's always you want to feel proud wearing the brown and gold, and especially against a team like the Macedon Cats. We do have a very friendly rivalry with those guys down at the category. So it's always good to see the girls trying their hardest and trying to cause a few upsets whenever we face those guys. So it's great to see.
Absolutely. I sort of feel with in terms of the clubs that do have have a strong netball contingent, Macedon, for the better part of the last 3 to 4 to 5 years, across all teams have been very strong. And likewise with Rupertswood, both those clubs have fielded very, very good sides from 19s right through to A grade. So we know that they are Macedon is one of the powerhouse teams or clubs in the competition in netball, and that's great. You've got a competition called the Macedon Rangers Netball Association, which takes place on a Saturday morning, and that's becoming a prominent breeding ground for a lot of young netballers across the region that are stepping up and playing netball in our competition.
Yeah, for sure. And like we always say, which I've pretty much started every sentence saying so far in the podcast, so sorry about that. But what was I saying? Yeah, we always want to learn lessons and little tips and tricks from every team that we come across and apply them to the nest. So yeah, for example, when the reserves football players versus Diggers Rest, they did a lot of switching from the back line, and we wanted to apply that to our game style, and it also applies in netball with their game styles, and even with the behind the scenes stuff like that netball association, like you were just talking about. You really want to learn some lessons from other clubs and sort of merge everything we've learned into our club, and ultimately make us one of the powerhouse clubs in the league down the track.
You're absolutely spot on, mate, and it's not coming from a biased perspective, but if you're involved in the netball component of the club at the moment, there is a very good, positive future coming up. As we've spoke about over the last few weeks, the 19s is one of the dominant clubs, the dominant teams in the competition. C grades looking like they'll make finals. B grade, unfortunately, they'll miss out, and A grade are still in the hunt. And then if you want to sort of go a little bit further back, the 17s are undefeated. This is arguably the greatest year for netball at our club in its history, and that's a testament to the work that everyone has done and the buy-in from all the players and the coaching staff. Yeah,
for sure. And it's really good to see success in not only the footy, but the netball as well. You know, we always say 3 club, 1 community. So it's good to see all assets of the club succeeding, and there's definitely a lot of potential with our youth in the netball in particular, which will certainly strengthen our A's and our B's down the track, which is very exciting.
Absolutely, and as we've spoken about in recent weeks as well, a lot of the girls that played in the 19s grand final last year under Anne Louise have gone up and been part of this C grade squad, and that talent has continued to shine. And it's no coincidence that they're fighting hard to play finals. Now, speaking of a team that's fighting hard to play finals, I know you watch this game of great interest, but the reserves had a solid win against Macedon in the footy.
They did, in fact, yeah. Although once again it was, as I said, with when I caught up with Bergs after the game, the conversion at goal was once again a slight issue, and it has been throughout the year. Just a little bit of inconsistency in front of the big sticks, which at times I feel personally may have cost us a little bit of percentage. Which would have been handy around this pointy end of the season. But, it was a great performance from all the boys. Mido and Maxi had, I think, 10 between them, so those two are starting to gel very well on the forward line. Maxi's obviously a big, tall timber target, and then you got Mido, who's probably one of the best set shots in the team, to be honest with you. He's a dead eye. And he doesn't need a lot of the ball to do a lot of damage on the scoreboard. He's a 6-goal, 6-kick player, so he's a really formidable force. And especially in the midfield, we've got big Robbie McCoy going up to the ones as of late. So there's been a little bit of a void in the midfield, which a lot of the boys have fulfilled in Chettles. Rupert stepped up. He's become a really good leader over the last few years with his very, very loud, prominent voice, which I'm sure you remember.
Oh, yes.
you can hear him from anywhere on the ground, whether you're in the town or anywhere in Victoria, really, you can hear him. but yeah, the reserves are really travelling nicely, and then it's just a matter of getting a few injured players back into the squad later in the year, come finals, which will be massive.
Absolutely. Percentage will play a big part. I listened to that interview that you did with Bergs, and he doesn't seem overly concerned, and that's understandable as well. They've just got to keep working hard. But because the Hawks are sort of in that bracket where there's a number of teams on similar points and similar high percentages as well, at the end of the day, if you finish anywhere between third and sixth, it's those games are winnable. The top two sides, Wallen and Diggers Rest, have been outstanding this year, but the boys have definitely shown that they are very competitive and can really take it up to them. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this round 18 clash goes against Wallen, because we did push them last time, going down by less than a kick. Build up some momentum over the next couple of weeks. Obviously, we've got a big game against the Tigers this weekend, but keep up that momentum. Who knows? You never know. We might be able to sneak into third position and make a real fist of this finals.
Oh yeah, 100%, and especially with the likes of Joshy Styles back in the midfield, he's a quality A's player at best. So ones player, sorry. He makes a massive difference, and he sort of fills the void of Robbie whilst Robbie's been playing ones. And then, for example, when Robbie comes back down, come finals time, the midfield's going to be extremely prominent with Stylesy. You get Chettles running through there occasionally along with Rupert, big Rodder in the ruck, and then obviously a couple of other players streaming through the middle as well, and along the wing. But there's definitely a lot of potential, and as Berg said in his post-game interview, you got players that are starting to climb to new heights in terms of their potential, and the likes of Jackie Linda. Mm-hmm. He's not going to mind me saying this because I've got a pretty good relationship with him, but he did have a very quite a quiet first half of the season, and he openly admitted that he was struggling with some efficiency by foot, but last week he definitely put that aside and had one of his better games for the season, and made a massive impact off half-back and down that wing as well. So there's a lot of players that are starting to develop come finals time, which is really exciting.
Magnificent. And we'll turn our attention to the senior footy. Wasn't the result that we were sort of hoping for, a disappointing first half, but look, the boys dug deep in that second half and were able to finish the game with some respectability on the scoreboard.
Yeah, definitely. At half-time, it was looking like it could have been, as Clinker said in the half-time huddle, it could have been a massive blowout, to be honest. I think Tommy Cullen and Clinkers both touched that if they went down the wrong path in the third quarter, it could have been a 200-point smashing, to be honest. But the second half was really good. I'm not sure exactly the scoreline. I think we might have equalled them in score, maybe even roughly around about the same in the second half. So we definitely took it up to them in the third and fourth quarter, which is promising. But it's just that four-quarter consistency, which is obviously really, really hard to withhold against a formidable Macedon side, which should go pretty deep into finals. Big donkey, Govey with the blonde hair.
Now, what's the story with that, mate? What on bloody earth is going there?
I actually don't mind it, to be honest. Like, it's on anyone else, it would be absolutely ridiculous. But because it's Govey, it's just so funny that it works. It's hard to explain. It just pulls it off because he's such a classic.
Oh, I think he's been watching. He must have been watching Matty Guelphy over the Essendon Footy Club, just going the old blonde locks and a Razio Fantasia's gone with that look as well. So
definitely bit of Draco Malfoy about him at the moment.
Forget the old sleeve tattoos that's taking place. So we're going to see the blonde locks come back on a lot of people.
Well, Guelphy's got the bleach blonde. Govey's is a bit more blondie, yellowy, blondie, brownie. It's actually not too bad, to be honest. But he had the job on Big Jason Cook, which was a really good matchup. I I think Jason Cook kicked about 4 to 5 behinds in the first quarter. So he could have done damage in the first quarter, but obviously that's commendable for Govey in terms of his pressuring his kicks. And they had a real good duel throughout the game, and I think Govey did a great job on a really good player who's done a lot of damage to the league in the last couple of seasons. But it was good to see the senior boys take it up to the Macedon Cats in the second half. Our boy Liam Bianco had a very, very quiet third quarter this week, which is very surprising. I was signalling the number 3 from the sideline to try and hint that I wanted a massive third quarter, but you can't expect it every week, I think. And obviously it's quite difficult to break the game open against a side like Macedon, so I'll forgive him this week.
Oh, look, I'd drop him down to the 2s to try and get some form just quietly.
I think he wouldn't mind that, to be honest. He'd probably rack up about 50 disposals, to be honest.
Now, the Masters have... there's been lots of great things that have been happening around the Masters in recent weeks, and we've been pretty excited about it. They had a really good win at home on the weekend, so while the senior club were playing away at Tony Clark Reserve, it was great. The Masters had a win, and we also have a new tool of the week, which goes to one of the great legends around the club.
Yeah, so the tool of the week this week has been handed to Jason Colliber. So congratulations, Matt. You are the tool of the week.
Yeah, apparently he did sweet bugger all on the day, and then whenever he touched the pill, it was absolutely woeful. So, given his form, they play at Maryborough in a couple of weeks' time. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to back. Just from all the talk around that effort there, it's going to be hard to take it off him.
I love how there's no best on ground. It's just the fittest player on the team.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I know Darren Jackson. Darren Jackson, who gives out the award a fair bit, I know he's taken out it a few times as well, and deservedly so.
Oh, well, it's an honour. Carry it with pride.
Absolutely. And the Masters will have they've put a reminder out. They do have their final game of the year on Saturday, August 17, up at Bendigo. So check out the social media pages on how to get up there. They're hoping to run a bus up there for supporters. I know the Hawks will be playing, but we want to try and get as many supporters up there as possible, whether it be senior representatives or juniors, and obviously the Masters fans. And as we spoke about last week, mate, we did have some 2 superstars, Woody and Mango, tear it up in the European side of things for Australia, and one of our stars had an absolute blinder against the Irish. Yeah,
so Big Mango got the best on ground, the big BOG against the Irish folks in a losing effort. But it's always good to see a local club figure tear it up on the international soil. So great to see that. Great effort from Big Mango.
Absolutely, yeah. That's from all reports, all the games that he's played, he's been one of the standouts for the Australian team, and Woody hasn't been doing that bad either, wearing the gloves and doing a great job. So those boys will be they'll be back for this weekend, and they'll be back in time to play against Maryborough with a little bit more experience as we get ready to wrap up the first quarter here on Beyond the Nest. And mates, I'll let you pump it up. What have we got coming up next in the second term?
So we've got episode 4 of the Sit-Down with the big man Matt Shanahan, and he'll be talking all things juniors in 2019 at the Nest.
Hey Gary, what time you call this?
Yeah, the traffic was really bad. Oh, there's Steve-o. G'day, Steve.
Morning.
How's your weekend?
Same old, same old.
What'd you get up to?
Not much. Are you okay, mate? Mateship is a 4-letter word, and those 4 letters are you okay? They're easy to say, and to some people they can be life-changing. For more information, visit ruok.org.au.
Berkey's Bakehouse is one of Woodend's great wonders. People travel from all over Victoria to sample their award-winning treats, mouth-watering pies and soul-warming coffees. Located on the corner of High Street and Forest Street, Woodend, Berkey's Bakehouse offers outstanding customer service with a smile and provides quality support for the community. Did you know that they make freshly baked pies for fundraising events? Visit the team today to find out more. And when they become part of your fundraiser, I'll buy 10. Those pies are so good. Berkey's Bakehouse is open from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. 7 days a week. They are proud sponsors of the Woodend Heskett Football Netball Club.
G'day, Jack. Yeendy, how are you, boys? Good to see you again this week. Doing a fantastic job, as always, on this little podcast session you boys have got going. Thanks for inviting me to have a chat about the juniors. As we've just getting towards the pointy end of the season, it's good to see all of our juniors are in a position that can make finals. So from the 11s right through to the 15s. Unfortunately, we didn't get the 17s up this year, but all sides are in a position that we can make some finals and hopefully, get to the real pointy end of the season. I'm lucky enough to have been involved with these the 11s and the 15s this year, as I've got two sons playing, but and taking over the main reins while Woody's overseas representing our club and our country at the Masters tournament. So very fortunate to be in the position to be looking after the 15s, which has been good. We've obviously holiday period with school and stuff. We've had a few outs, but the boys have been acquitting themselves pretty well in that area. And looking against last week, we played the Melton Centrals, which were a tough challenge for us. They're sitting second on the ladder, and we really needed to try and see what we're up against coming into finals. We've got a week this week against Gisborne Giants, and hopefully we can get a win there. And then the last week we go against Melton Ones, and they're sitting top of the ladder. So it gives us a real good look at what we can expect in finals time, and hopefully the boys can come away with a couple of wins in the last few home and away season to get into the finals and have a good crack at getting deep into the final series. It's been a very enjoyable year, and all kids have developed well, so it's been a really positive thing from our point of view. With last year with the club, we had two separated 15 sides, and it was a little bit dysfunctional at stages, to say the best. And this year we've got a really galvanised group. We've got 29 kids that were playing footy at the start of the year, which leaves us with some, rotation, not issues, but, some challenges to try and get as many games into all the kids as we can. And I think Woody, as senior coach in the 15s, has done that particularly well. We've got guys have been rostered off on certain weeks and just made sure that we've got good game time into everyone, and that means that we've got a really solid group that's galvanised well together, and they're starting to learn the craft of footy a bit better. So, that's where we're at with the juniors.
Yeah. I think that's one of the best elements of the Woodend Football Club. We've got a lot of youth coming from the bottom all the way up to the 19.5, so plenty of potential moving forward for the Woodend Hawks in the future. Yeah,
I see that same too, Jack. It's great that we've got with three groups of under 11s. Jez has been doing a fantastic job down there with obviously the senior group of under 11s, or the A's, which you'd like to call them that, and had success last year and looked like having some good success again this year, being undefeated on top of the ladder, and that can roll through. We've been at the club for a long time, and I'd like to think that some of our 15s that are playing football at the moment will, a couple of years from now, are vying for some senior positions. So if we can keep that going through and getting good numbers at the club, I think we can only go from strength to strength.
Last year, safety barriers were hit more than 3,200 times. When a safety barrier is hit, it catches your vehicle like a net, slows you down, and prevents you from hitting a tree or oncoming traffic, saving your life and potentially others. And I should know, because that's exactly how it saved mine.
Safety barriers save lives, getting us towards zero.
For an afternoon of great wine and fabulous food, why not get your family and friends together and head down to the Mount Macedon Winery at 433 Borden Road, Mount Macedon. Dylan, Alicia and the team are delighted to be proud sponsors of Woodend Heskett Football Netball Club in 2019 and are excited to be match day sponsors of the weekly Best On Ground Awards. Celebrate a great win or simply enjoy the great company over a long lunch in the Vines, or drop in for an entertaining Salador tasting experience that is accompanied by a delicious grazing board of local cheeses. You can even take your well-behaved pooch to bask in the sun and enjoy stunning views from the deck looking over the Vines. For more information, log on to mountmacedonwinery.com.au. Mount Macedon Winery, proud sponsors of the Woodend Heskett Football Netball Club. Welcome back to Beyond the Nest. Thanks to our great mates over at Berkey's Bakehouse. Make sure you duck in there for a feed before you get along to the game on the weekend. The senior, or all the action against Lancefield this weekend. Head in there for a coffee and maybe a nice toasty before you head along to the ground and enjoy some under-19s action across some football and netball. But we're all about the juniors, mate, and we are in the final round of the home and away season. And, geez, mate, there is going to be plenty on the line for all the boys and girls this weekend.
Yeah, for sure, mate. It's a massive run home for our juniors. And as Shaddy was pumping up, there's plenty of potential for a lot of these young fellas and young girls to have a massive impact in the finals. So very exciting stuff this week for our juniors.
Absolutely right, mate. We're going to provide a bit of a detailed analysis of how they're sort of trekking. So I'll read out. I'll go through what's sort of happening, and I'll get your feedback on that one, mate. So, 15 Bs are playing away to Melton South from 12:30 p.m. Woodend currently in 4th spot, and they don't have to worry too much. They are all set to play Lancefield in week 1 of the finals in a battle between 3rd and 4th. It's going to be good to get some good form against a team like South, who won't be playing finals this year, and head in there with a bit of confidence.
Yeah, exactly. It's always good to get a couple of wins on the board heading into finals, just to get that confidence and get a bit of form heading into the last sort of chunk of the season.
That's spot on, mate. Now, I'm going to go through the most complicated final scenario that we will ever encounter on Beyond the Nest this year. I was going through this and I had to run predictions and I had to run lots of maths. I couldn't quite figure it out. So 13 Bs have the bye this weekend. Now, try and stick with me on this one, mate, because I'm going to bloody get lost on this one. They currently sit in 5th, have the bye. They get 2 points, I believe, for the bye. They have the bye alongside 4th-placed Rupertswood. And we're going a top 4 system. Woodend will make finals if the 1st or 2nd placed rookies beat the Giants, which is a very, very big chance of happening. If this does happen, the Giants will slip from 3rd to 6th, and then the Hawks will end up playing Rupo in week 1 of the finals. So we don't have the boys don't even have to play, and all they have to do is rely on the rookies winning the crosstown rival with the Giants, and then they're in. That is extraordinary.
That is very interesting stuff from the stats man, Yandy. So
I'm astounded.
I was lost when you said 13 Bs. What did you say after that?
Yeah, that's right. It's amazing with a few teams having the byes that a team that's currently in 3rd, if they lose, they slip all the way to 6th because the 3 teams below them have all got byes. So that's massive.
That would be a very bitter pill to swallow.
Absolutely. So that's hence the complication of that one. 11A, as we know, have had a terrific season to date. They're going to be at home to Macedon, who currently in 7th place from 12:30 p.m. They will play Rupertswood in week 1 of the finals in the battle between 1 and 2. So that one's done and dusted, and mate, they win that game, they go straight through to the grand final. They bypass the prelim. So it's if you were the coaching staff there, you'd be pretty happy that your fate's sort of already sorted. You just have to get what you can out of this game and not have to worry too much about the result.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think Rezzy's cold figure, Big Jezza, is heavily involved with the young stars at the 11s all the way through from C's to A's. So it's really good to see some success for not only Jezza, but all these young boys and girls down the nest. So very eager to see a lot of those young guns taste some glory.
Absolutely right, mate. And Jezza did take the 11s to the Holy Grail last year. The 11P is a little bit of a complicated one. They're home to Lancefield, are currently in 9th position. That kicks off at 11:15am. The Hawks are in 6th spot and can make finals only if Riddle upset Romsey, which is going to be unlikely because I don't think Riddle won a game this year, and Diggers beat the Rookies. There's currently 27% separating the Hawks and the Rookies. So if Riddle pull off the upset, Diggers have to beat the Rookies and the Hawks have to beat Lancefield by, there has to be a 10-goal margin in probably both games for that to happen. So not impossible, but it's going to be a tough ask.
Yeah, exactly. And any chance is enough for the Woodend boys. So we'll give them a massive sniff.
Absolutely right. Then there's also a chance in the 11Cs. They're at home to Centrals, who are currently on top of the ladder from 10am. The Hawks sit in 6th. They must beat Centrals. Sunbury Kangaroos must beat Melton, which is likely. And the winless Giants have to beat the Rookies to make the finals. And if they make the finals, they will play the Sunbury Lions. So it's hard with the Giants because they've had a pretty low scoring return this year, and the Rookies, I think they're first or second on the ladder. So you talk about miracles. You can see two of the three things falling into play. The third one's going to be a very, very tough one.
Yeah, and it's making finals is obviously the be all and end all of a footy club, but at that age in 11s, it's just more about just having fun and learning all the basics of this great game. So as long as they can take as many positives out of the season as they can, whether they do make finals or not, it will pay dividends when they're moving up to the 13s and the 15s further down their little football careers. So plenty of positives for our 11Cs in particular. And I'm sure they'll have a real red-hot crack against Centrals at home. So
you're absolutely spot on, mate. What this does say is that our three under-11s team, but the under-11s junior program, the first entry into this form of competition, is very, very healthy going forward, and that's a testament to the Auskick programs and all the other development going on too. It's we're getting great numbers to field three teams, and to field three very competitive teams is fantastic going forward.
Yeah, that's also a massive thanks to. I'd say it's a massive thanks to the parents who bring them along to our home games to watch the seniors and the resis and the 19s and just I know when I was playing 11s I would always watch I'd watch the ones later on in the day if we were playing on the same day, and I just wanted to play senior footy so bad at that age. Like you just seeing, as an under-11s player, watching Tommy Gorthelt kick a bag of 5 or watching big Jesse Shepherd take a massive mark off half-back, it just motivates them to play better for the club and become footy stars like some of their heroes in the ones which they have badges on of their beanies. So, yeah, it's good to see the parents heavily involving their kids in the club. All across the league, all across the season, which has been great, I think.
I couldn't agree more, mate, and I sort of relate to a little bit of that experience. When I first started playing footy, the 12s a long time ago before the under 19 and halves competition was introduced. We used to train on Saturday mornings from 10 till 12, so we used to finish as for the home games, the reserves and seniors would come out. So the reserves would be they'd be hitting the training track or hitting the track before their game, and we used to have the parents and the supporters watch us finish train, and then we used to stick around and watch the reserves and senior footballers play. So I absolutely resonate with what you said there, and going back a little while now, but I think that's it's certainly a lot of the people from that I trained with and played with did get involved at senior level. So that's a testament to that program.
So that's that's about 10 years ago for me, and we're talking about 35 for you. So yeah, there's a little bit of difference there, but same.
I'm feeling like an old man now. As we segue onto the netball, and look, we've got some great games. All the girls are playing over at Clark Oval over in the Sunbury Lions, and we'll turn our attention to the all-conquering powerhouse team, the under-17s. They're currently undefeated, on top of the ladder, and very much like our 15 side, our top side in the junior football, they've got their date booked in for week 1 of the finals. The girls will play the rookies for a spot in the grand final.
Massive, absolutely massive. So yeah, they're 17 undefeated on top of the ladder, which is crazy.
Under Callie Duff, who's been doing some great things down there.
Yeah, for sure. So as you touched on earlier, it's great to see the likes of the 17 girls and some major success in the netball side of things down there. So that'll be very exciting to see those girls have a very big sniff at the flag. So that's exciting.
Absolutely right. They're 15s, so they play second place Sunbury Lions. They must win. It's going to be a very tough ask, and rely on Rupertswood to drop their games. There's another team in there as well. Both they're playing. Both the teams they need to rely on for the results to go their way. Are playing two sides at the bottom of the ladder, whoever won a game each. So again, the girls are probably just going to miss out, but that's okay. It's about the development and development coming through, and a lot of those girls will go up to the 17s next year, and some of those 17 girls will stay down too. So it's still going to add a lot of invaluable experience to a quality side next year.
Yeah, exactly right. And while I'm listening to you talk about these outcomes and these predictions and all these really intricate statistics, I'm really hoping that a lot of the parents of these players, and especially these juniors, really tune into the podcast and they can sort of listen along and follow along. There's a lot of parents that their kids love the footy, but they're not too aware of the results of all the other teams and how the finals system works sometimes for footy and the netball. So I really urge a lot of the parents and the family and friends to tune into the podcast to listen to all your rundowns and your predictions for the rest of the season, because I find it very interesting. So if the parents of these juniors are aware of these things as well, it adds a bit of excitement for them going in to watch their kids play, which is I think really cool. So
yeah, the highlight of the main focus of this podcast is to reflect the juniors, seniors, and masters. So be inclusive of all the teams. So for those who listen to the podcast for the first time, we're trying to shake things up and make sure we give coverage to all clubs around the region as well. So that's really important. The 13s is going to be an interesting one. They play the fourth place Sunbury Lions, a team we actually need to get out of the finals. The girls are currently in 7th. If it wins by a big margin and Romsey beats Melton South, the Lions will miss finals, and we won't be able to make the finals, but we can sure as hell take the Lions right out of the final equation. So if the girls cause a win and Romsey gives Melton South a bit of a hiding, Romsey will knock Sunbury Lions out of the finals, and the girls will feel like that they'll finish the season on a high, knowing they've upset the apple cart a little bit.
Exactly right, mate. If you can't make the finals, knock someone out of the finals. So that's what you got to do to find some success in the netball industry. So I'm all for it.
Oh, bring it on. Absolutely bring it on. And the under-11s, they play the 7th place Sunbury Lions. The girls are going to finish in 5th regardless of the result. So, mate, we just hope the girls play the best that they can play and enjoy themselves. That this might be the last time this group of girls play together. Some of them will go up, some of them will stay. So they just go out and have fun. And they might come away with a win, which I think they're very much in the box seat to come away with a big W on the road.
Yeah, it's just like the 11s boys playing the footy. You just want to go out there and enjoy the day. It's a great time to catch up with your friends and learn a lot from the mentors and peers around you. So it's a great opportunity for those girls to really build on their netball career down the nest. So really exciting times for a lot of our juniors.
Spot on there, mate. And I'll run through the other girls' footy. Both teams had some disappointing losses last week, but that's okay. They're working hard. They've still got a lot of development sort of going on, a lot of learning process in the first season. The 13 girls will be at home at the race course to Gisborne from 12 p.m. So get down there. The girls currently sit in 5th, and they take on the top side, Gisborne. So look, we just want the girls to be competitive. We want them to try hard, and it's going to be a tough day, but that's okay. Just get out there and have a crack.
It's only early days for our girls' footy as well. So as long as they're giving it their best, the results will come and the progress will come as well. So it's definitely just a matter of taking some baby steps and building towards a great team within the girls' footy. So it's another exciting element of the Wood End Football Club moving forward.
Spot on there, mate. And then we've got the under-18 girls. They're at home to Gisborne. That is the early game at 10:30 a.m. over the racecourse. So get down there, support the girls. They currently sit in 4th position. They take on Gisborne, who are on top of the ladder. Regardless of the result, the girls are going to be playing finals this year, but they have a genuine chance to build some form because they do play Diggers Rest, who are in 5th position next week, and then they play Bacchus Smash, who sit above them. It'll only be by a game, I think, by the time that fixture comes around. All those games are at home, so rest assured we've got 3 weekends of girls' footy at the racecourse over the next 3 weeks, and you'll get an opportunity to see the girls go through their preparations and prepare for their maiden crack at the 2019 final series, which is going to be an exciting opportunity for the Riddle Youth Girls competition.
Massive, mate. Couldn't have pumped it up any better.
Thanks, mate. And we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our friends at Berkey's Bakehouse. It is 3/4 time, and we're going to rip raw and run into our rundown of this weekend's senior games right after this.
You have breast cancer. In the next week, 300 women and 3 men will hear these 4 words. 4 life-changing words. 4 words which cut right to the core. 4 words turning their world upside down. And it's in this moment, when these 4 words are spoken, that we are here to help. We are a friend, a rock, a sounding board, every step of the way. Our power lies in our knowledge. We give women and men resources and information to help with the hundreds of decisions that need to be made. Our support reaches every region, every city, and every town. We're change makers. We unite, we empower, and we give Australians affected by breast cancer a voice. We are there from the very beginning, from the moment those 4 words are spoken, helping those in need for as long as they need us. Who are we? We are Breast Cancer Network Australia, the biggest support network for Australians affected by breast cancer.
Buffalo Sports is proudly supporting the Wood End Heskett Football Netball Club. Established in 1972, the Buffalo Sports brand has now grown to be recognised and trusted worldwide. They manufacture an extensive range of products using the highest quality materials. Their product range covers all sports, specialising in the manufacturing of balls, hardware, clothing and protective equipment to meet your needs with over 5,000 different items available. They are the leaders in constantly changing the world of sporting goods and always developing more products. For more information, jump online, buffalosports.com.au. Buffalo Sports, proud sponsors of the Wood End Heskett Football Netball Club. Welcome back to the final quarter here on Beyond the Nests. Thanks to our great friends at Berkey's Bakehouse. Oh, I just cannot... I'm very jealous being up here. I would have loved nothing more than head down for a toasty, a nice ham and cheese toasty, and a good hot chocolate on the way to the footy on Saturday. But I know a few people will be heading down to Berkey's Bakehouse on Berkey's Corner, and then moseying on over to watch some 19s action on this weekend in the footy because, mate, the 19s girls have the bye on the back of their thrilling win. So is that kind of just a reward after a gutsy win? Go and have the week off, girls. You've earned it. Hit the showers.
I think it is, mate. And every time you say Berkey's Bakehouse, I'm just so hungry for a pie. I know we're gonna pump them up, but it just makes me so hungry for a nice big pie.
Oh, mate! Since being up here, I have missed it. I remember even moving out of Woodend. Whenever I went through town, I made an effort to go and grab a pie and a sausage roll. That'd keep me going for hours. It didn't matter which pie. I'd walk in there and I'd just say. I'd say I'd love a pie, and they'd ask what one. I'd say it surprised me, and I think.
What if they say we don't have any pies left? Then what do you do? Get a sausage roll.
Get a sausage roll, mate. You can't go wrong with that. C grade netball is going to be a good game for the girls. They come in off a testing loss on the weekend against the Cats, but they take on the 11th place and winless Lancefield. Look. We're pretty confident the girls will make finals, but it's going to be a tough one. We need Romsey, who are currently sitting outside I think they're sitting in 8th on 20 points. If they upset Broadford, who are sitting in 7th, we're home and hosed. The gap is just going to be too great. And if this happens, it's going to open up a 2-game gap between 6th and 7th. Broadford have got a phenomenal percentage. They will win their remaining 2 home games, I would expect. But otherwise, mate, we will talk this up. And I'm hoping it doesn't come down to this, but I'm thinking it's a big possibility. The last round of the home and away season, Woodend Heskett v Wallen at the GGO, the winner of that game goes to the finals. We don't want it to go to that, mate, but it could happen.
What is it about Wallen? We just can't stop talking about him on the podcast, mate. I think we're creating a fantasy rivalry that doesn't exist.
Or we're drumming up a rivalry that's going to blow up and become a big part of RDFNL folklore for years to come, I think.
Maybe in our own minds, maybe just on the podcast.
Absolutely. Well, hey, it's the Woodend Heskett Wallen Football Netball Club podcast.
They should start streaming on their socials.
I'm going to get stuck into to make sure that happens. In B grade,
just be careful.
Be careful. Well, they better throw some money our way with coverage of sponsors. That'd be nice. In B grade, the girls are expected and will beat Lancefield. If Romsey beat Broadford and we make up the 20% gap on the percentage-wise, the Hawks can move up another position. But look, it's going to be a good chance. I know we've got some big opposition over the next couple of weeks, but if they can get a solid win here, it'll make things very interesting. They'll work towards finishing the year on a positive note.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for as well. And it's all about consistency. It's not about you don't want to take the pedal off towards the end of the season. You want to keep building form and providing the A grade with a lot of potential pickups down the track as well, with a lot of very elite B grade players. So as long as they can keep up the consistency and keep up the effort, then you can't ask for much more.
You're spot on there, mate. Now A grade, I've had to whip out the calculator in this case here. Because we're going to be doing this a lot over the next few weeks because the countdown for the maiden finals run into the finals. This could totally happen. We should beat Lancefield on the weekend, and we need percentage. Percentage is going to be very crucial, but look, we need to make it up where we can. The girls, after dropping the game by a solid margin last week to Macedon, they've slipped down to 9th. Rockbank and Riddle both have the bye this weekend, so they'll automatically get the 4 points. And Rupo are going to beat Melton Central, so we're going to leapfrog them. So my ladder predictions down at the bottom, we're going to have Riddle at the end of this round. Riddle in 6th spot on 30 points. So Diggers the rest are going to make it. I don't see them missing out. Riddle have got a percentage of 98.05%. Rockbank will automatically pick up the 4 points. So it's good that these teams have got the bye because, they'll get the 4 points, but they won't get percentage. Rockbank's on 28 points, so just 2 points out, and they are about 10% out. And the Hawks will win this weekend. They'll be on 26 points. So if the girls can maybe get 7 or 8 or maybe even 10%, then that'll sort of bridge the gap a little bit for Riddle. Riddle are the only ones that I think can slip out. They also do have Romsey the following week, which Romsey have been a pretty good side this year. I would expect them to shave a little bit of percentage off Riddle, and hopefully the Hawks can start to make inroads. And you never know, mate. It's still a possibility.
Yeah, and now that we've got all the precise statistics out of the way,
it's more confusing than the juniors, I think, or nearly.
Oh, they're all confusing, mate. I'm just listening, and I'm just going to let you talk about it because I've got no idea.
I've got too much time on my hands at the moment as we talk 19s football v Lancefield. The boys are currently in 2nd spot. Lancefield haven't won a game. We'll still stay in 2nd position at the end of this round.
Yep.
With Riddle and Wallen having the bye too, that helps. Now, we need Melton Centrals to beat Diggers Rest, and if that happens, we're going to make finals because there's. There's a few teams because we've got the top 4 this year. There's a few teams sort of around that area, and on the run home we play a few teams below us. We've got Diggers are currently in 5th, so if they get rolled, then that'll certainly help our cause. Centrals are currently in 6th position, and Wallen in 7th on the run home. I'm pretty confident that we'll win at least 3 of the 4 games heading home. We'll play Rupo in first week of the finals, but we should be right.
Oh, you'd think so. I mean, I'm not going to say too much because every time that we lock them in for a win, we jinx them. So
yeah.
and when it comes to the final round against Wallen, I'm just not even going to feature on the podcast.
No, you're going to go AWOL for that week.
As soon as we get to the 19th segment, I'm just going to chuck myself on mute.
Yep.
And I'll let you finish that up. But no, you'd expect the 19 boys to have a pretty good run home. 5th, 6th, and 7th, where we should stay at 2nd spot and sort of expand that gap between those remaining sides. So very exciting for the 19 boys under the big Chuckerberg.
And we have beaten Rupo this year, so we can take down anyone in this group. They're in sublime form. The reserves, again, we sit in 3rd. Lancefield are in 9th. Look, it's another tough one here because Rupo and Centrals both play. I'd expect Rupo, who are in fourth position and on equal points with the Hawks. I'd love to see Centrals get the upset here, but I can't see that happening. Riddle have the bye. Romsey will probably be Broadford. I don't think, for what we see at the moment, we're not going to see. I don't think we'll see any changes. I think 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, from what we see currently, will still currently take place, and we'll be sitting behind Wallen and Diggers heading into the next couple of weeks, which I know we might even have both those teams, if memory serves me correct. I'm not too sure there, but that'll be...
Yeah, well, I mean, as you said, the ladder shouldn't change, judging by our tips and predictions, but we are hoping to definitely add a little bit of percentage to the ladder, and that, although the positions aren't changing, the percentage changing does significantly impact the outcome of this run home to the final. So if the boys can really turn it up and sort of, even though you want to have a bit of fun and you want to try some things out, against certain on certain games, and when there's a bit of an early lead, you want to sort of trial a few players in different positions and give a few players that don't normally get a whole lot of time on the field. You want to give them an opportunity to have their time to shine. But I think, as we've spoken about in the last few weeks, percentage is going to be very important. So as long as the boys can stay structured and disciplined throughout the 4 quarters, we'd be looking at a nice little boost in the percentage column this week.
Couldn't agree more there, mate. And just quickly, we'll go through the seniors. The boys are expected to win that one. Rupert's Wood, I would expect to beat Centrals. There's a 13% separating us and Centrals. I'd be pretty confident come the weekend that we'll actually leapfrog them. And while we will be sitting on the fringes of the top 6, and we obviously won't make the top 6, we'll finish just outside again. But with results over the weekend, I think we'll set ourselves up for a pretty solid win.
Yeah, and it's a little bit different to a lot of the other teams within our club in terms of the pressure on the players and the coaching staff as well. So you definitely don't want to take your foot off the pedal, even though there's little to no chance of making finals. You still want to send the league a message, and you still want to provide the fans and supporters that come to these games. You want to put on a show, and you want to play some good quality Wood and Heskett football that everyone has grown to love. And there is a lot of potential. There's a lot of positives moving forward. But it's just a matter of having that defensive mindset. Even against a team like Lancefied, you want to have that defensive mindset. You don't want to allow consistent inside 50s. You want repeat stoppages. And you just gotta take it up to a team like these guys and prove to all the doubters that Woodend is a rising team in the RDFNL.
Yes, absolutely spot on there, mate. You've wrapped that up nicely. Just a reminder for this weekend as well, it is the great man Stu Brady's life membership induction on Saturday after the game against the Tigers. Get down there and support him. Next week on the show, we'll have an exclusive sit down where Stu and I will pick each other's brains, and we'll have a chat to him about what he's done with the club over the years. It's been absolutely fantastic. Thanks to our friends at Berkey's Bakehouse, and thanks to you, Jackie boy. Absolutely on fire this week, you are.
I'm hungry again, mate. You just said it again.
Well, thanks to everyone for joining us here on the latest edition on Beyond the Nest. My name's Yendi. I've got Jackie Roy with me as well, who's been in fine form today. Gets the 3 pies today from Berkey's Bakehouse for being the MVP.
And one sausage roll. You've got to have a sausage roll.
You've got to have a sausage roll, mate. There'll be plenty of them being kicked on the weekend, no doubt about that at all. We look forward to catching you next week on Beyond the Nest.